So once I got to art school, I learned all the other mediums. Up until then, I was primarily a pencil portrait artist. I just worked with pencils. That's all I knew. Well, once I got to art school, I had to learn how to paint, pen and ink, and airbrush, and so that started my expansion. So I quit doing pencils and just started studying all the other mediums, and really walked away from pencil drawing for about 25, 30 years, and just a few years ago decided to pick it up again, and found out how much I missed it and loved it. And it's really easy. You just need a piece of paper and a pencil and a smudger. You don't need to spread out and get all your mediums together. So it was really pretty easy for me to go back. Occasionally I will do some color work, but I like doing the quick and easy stuff. I mentioned before, growing up, my idol was Norman Rockwell. So as a kid, I think my grandmother had it originally, but she had a big coffee table book, big old thick hardback of was it Norman Rockwell Treasury. Growing up, I would just go through and through. I loved Norman Rockwell, and that's who I emulated as much as I could. But in between all the pictures of art, you'd see pictures, these little grainy black and white photographs of him in his studio, and he'd be photographs everywhere that he's working on and combining them. And then there was this machine, and I had no idea what it was until I got to art school. And it was an antique version. We had something a little newer at the CIA, and there was a room, and it had these two, what we called Lucys, or lucigraphs, or overhead projectors. You could shine them down on a table, you could turn them and shine them against the wall to do murals. And the first year of art school, the first year students weren't allowed to use it. That was for the second and on. So the first year was all about learning how to draw. This was years before computers came in, so you actually had to have some talent, here instead of here. And so we took more of the life drawing classes, which I've had before, and I got that out of my system, and it was tough. So I don't know how I passed, because I kind of slip out with a couple of the other students, because you can only do so much, and that's all you could take of the naked women and men. And so we got that out of the way. But once we started the Lucy, that changed everything. Now some fine artists, Lucys that's a commercial artist tool. Fine artists kind of frown upon it, but Norman Rockwell, that's what he used, because it's down and dirty. You got to you've got a deadline to meet, and if you're a portrait artist, they got to look like the person you're drawing. So, it might be a cheater, but you got the basic line work in, and it was quick. It could save you 2-3 hours of work just laying it out for us. So, I got that, and it was a godsend. And we had to learn how to do lettering, and I hated lettering, so I'd use the Lucy to help me, out of the book, draw out the letters. So, but everyone did, and that's what you do. And every commercial art studio you see has some kind of a Lucy somewhere in a corner in its own little dark room, and it's great. I have one to this day. I still use it whenever I can, and it's a fun deal.